So you see it's loading right now while it's reading the SOPs. Oh, and we're already done. And check this out. We magically received 5 questions, and each question has 3 attached answers, with one of the answers always being the correct one. How amazing is that? And how long did that take us? Maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds instead of what, an hour? So that's like a speed up of what, like 100x or so. That's pretty insane. If you're creating QMS trainings as a medical device company, let's take a look today at how you can actually create them in seconds and not hours and save a gigantic amount of time with AI. And believe me, this is pretty crazy if you've been doing quality management the old way before this and haven't been using an AI tool for this yet. So let's take a look at how it looks in our software. And we are Open Regulatory. We are an eQMS software provider. And by the way, our eQMS is probably the most popular among startups because it's the easiest to use, and also it's kind of like the cheapest by a far margin. So prices start at being free, or it's 99 euros per month. So which is pretty crazy, but let's actually look at the trainings here. So I won't go into too much detail into how the eQMS software works. We're just looking at this training module here, and you get this fancy training matrix of like, okay, trainings at the top and the people who need to go through trainings here as rows. But all of that is not relevant because we want to magically create a new training right now. So let's create a new training and call this document and record control training. I already created this a while ago. Create. And how does this work in general? In general, you kind of like describe a training on like on what the people have to like go through, so you can prove to your auditors that your staff has actually been trained. And the way you do that is typically by creating a quiz. And we can discuss on another day how useful or not useful it is to subject your team members to weird multiple choice quizzes. But let's just assume we have to do it for the sake of regulatory compliance. Now, when you create the training here, you can like create some bullet points on like maybe topics which should be covered in the training, like learn about document retention periods, and then maybe learn about reviewer roles, and so on and so on. But most importantly, you actually have to link this to SOPs, so the documents which actually describe the processes which people should be trained on in this training. So we can search for document, and this is our document and record control SOP. And this is our live real QMS we are using as company. So this is actually not a demo account, this is our account. And okay, so what's the problem here? The problem here now is I have linked this training to an SOP, and in the old school way of doing things, which by the way, right now 100% of humans are still doing because our software is the first with this feature. In the old school way of doing things, you now have to read through each of these documents and create your own quiz questions, right? So like in another tab, I would have to, oh, this is our pricing. Another tab, I would have to like go and look for this document, and it's like somewhere, and then I would have to like search for it. Then I would have to read it. And of course, like reading SOPs usually makes people fall asleep. So this is like a terrible job. So you read the SOP, especially if you're new to the company. If you didn't write this yourself, you now read through this and you're, oh, I have to create quiz questions for this. So this sucks. And then if you're me, you're questioning whether you should be creating quiz questions in the first place, but let's not go there. And then you kind of like, you would have to go back here and like select, okay, I need to create a new question and say like, okay, what's the retention period for documents? And then you could say like 1 day, that sounds very wrong. And then maybe 1 year and 10 years. And that's it. Oh yeah, maybe this is the correct answer. And so on and so on. And this sounds extremely painful. This is super, super painful. And how long would this take you? Maybe half an hour if you're reading it. But this is only if this is linked to one SOP. And many trainings are linked to multiple SOPs. So this might easily take you a couple hours, depending on how fast you read and how accurate your questions, you want your questions to be. So how can AI do this in seconds? And it's super easy. Check this out. So let's actually remove this because this was created by a human. This was me. Actually, you have this magical button here. Check out this magical button. Auto-generate 5 questions. And if I hit that, it actually looks at the description, but it also reads the linked SOPs and creates questions and answers for that. So actually, let's do that right now. And it is actually pretty fast. So you see it's loading right now while it's reading the SOPs. Oh, and we're already done. And check this out. We magically received 5 questions, and each question has 3 attached answers, with one of the answers always being the correct one. How amazing is that? And how long did that take us? Maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds instead of what, an hour? So that's like a speed up of what, like 100x or so. That's pretty insane. And now let's just take a look at one. Like this is my favorite one, by the way. Like what's the primary tool used for creation of documents and all that sort of stuff? Of course, it's Formwork. Formwork is our software. So with this already, I've kind of like verified that the AI actually read the document, because this is stated in our document and record control SOP. So that's awesome. Yeah, and that's the training, and that's pretty amazing. So if you also want to save as much time as I just did and do your regulatory work for your medical device like 100 times faster, then Formwork might be for you. And the crazy thing is, we're probably the most popular tool for startups because we're also the cheapest tool, which is ironic because our competitors, they somehow prefer to like create crazy pricing, and our pricing is just pretty decent. So you already get the AI features for 99 euros per month flat, which is insane. That already includes 5 user seats. And again, you already have these, the AI feature for the trainings, the one we just saw. And our pricing tops out at 500 euros per month, which is still cheaper than almost all of our competitors, which is crazy. And if you want to just like take it for a spin, we even have a free tier. So none of these really have a lot of commitment. You can cancel monthly. So check it out. The link is below in the description. And I think this is super amazing, the trainings feature. And in our other videos, we'll be looking at a few more other AI features, which are pretty magical and almost as magical as this one. So check out our YouTube channel too and subscribe if you're interested. All right, that's it. Check out Formwork.